Welcome to AGT time. It's time to talk AGT. Hello, Cody Patterson. How are you doing?
I'm doing well this evening. I've got my Ed Sheeran song because we've pretty much gone through his entire catalog. So just getting our Ed Sheeran on.
Yeah, as always. What do you think of this third quarterfinals episode?
I think as I mentioned last week that it's kind of gone downhill each week. We had our best acts in the first week. This one I felt like I was pretty much just going through the motions. There was a few things I enjoyed about it, but overall I was very meh on it. So I think if I were to give it a grade, I would probably give it a B minus.
Yeah, I would as well. The acts were not great, but weird AGT kept me entertained.
Absolutely, it's I can't look away from it.
So the first act was Danelle Damon and Greater Works. They sang "You're the One That I Want." And no cover of this song will ever top the Lo Fang version for me. So I wasn't too excited by this, but what did you think?
I like Greater Works. I think they're one of the best acts. I've liked them since the beginning, but for some reason, I must have been the only one that didn't feel that this was the right song. Apparently, everyone else liked it. The judges liked it. Everyone was real excited about it. I didn't feel it quite fit. They kept saying that it was a good. They made it into a gospel song. I didn't feel it. It wasn't the song that I wanted. So
Yeah, I'm surprised the judges liked that too. I thought they really dropped the ball. I thought the solo was bad.
well, they brought in a new soloist this time, and our original soloist made a reappearance. But they started off with a new soloist. I like them. I think they're very, very talented. I just didn't think this was the right song.
Yeah. So then we saw Junior and Emily, and I thought this had kind of a weird ending. It sort of seemed to stop in its tracks, but overall I thought it was a good performance. What did you think?
I thought it was a fair performance. They did add some additional stuff to the routine. They just didn't spin around, spin around, spin around. They did do some other stuff. I didn't feel that there were any wow moments in it. I thought it was just okay.
Yeah, sure. I see where you're coming from. I've always liked their kind of dancing, though, so I was pretty happy with it overall.
I mean, I've enjoyed them the past few weeks. I enjoyed them the first week. Their judge cut was not very good, and this was kind of their middle of the pack. Now, Simon said this is the most dynamic, most powerful, could be the most competitive quarterfinal they've had so far, which I completely disagree with that.
Oh yeah, me too. But they're gonna say that no matter what.
Absolutely.
So final draft was up next. It took me a long time to recognize this song. It was "Shape of You" by Ed Sheeran, and I would say this isn't quite as bad as Lincoln Bridge doing 7 years in the semifinals or the finals or whatever, but it's kind of up there. So I thought this was a terrible song, but honestly, I thought they translated it pretty well, and I thought their performance was pretty good.
Yeah, I thought this was their best performance. I have not been high on them at all. The guy that sings really high bothers me. The way that they harmonized wasn't very good, but this time it did seem like it was better. This is our first of two Ed Sheeran songs that we got tonight. It seemed like that it helped that there was a music track. I'm not for sure if they've had a music track in their previous performances. I just can't remember. But it seemed to kind of cover up some of their singing, and that may have made the difference for me.
Yeah, that's a good point. I feel like they didn't have one before, but who knows at this point?
Yeah, no, they're not one of my favorite acts, and I don't think that they're the best one of the best acts of the night.
Yeah, I'd agree. So next up was Oscar Hernandez, and this was interesting to see in the quarterfinals. I thought he actually did a really impressive job of scaling this act up. It felt like he made it, a quarterfinals performance, but I still would not vote for him.
No, he is one of the worst acts. I'm not sure how he kept getting through. I was actually hoping that when they in the package they showed him training the cheerleaders, that the cheerleaders were going to be part of his performance, because I think I would have enjoyed that way more than watching him.
Yeah. So I guess that's all for Oscar. After him was Angelina Green, and when her intro started, I was like, "Who even is this?" And I was very surprised to learn it was a golden buzzer.
Yes, this was Heidi's golden buzzer from week 6 that we never talked about. And it's been a really long time since we've seen her.
Yeah, I also do not find her very memorable this time or the last time. I thought she wasn't that great.
No, there are a lot of people out on Reddit that have been ranking the golden buzzers, and they constantly put her at the bottom of the list of all the golden buzzers. Now, I found it interesting that when in her package they had ukuleles, and I was for sure she was going to come out playing a ukulele.
Oh yeah, they they didn't deliver on that, I guess.
No, but they had to feature the ukuleles in there because that's kind of the new instrument. Now, she did sing Gravity. What did you think of... You said the performance itself just wasn't very memorable?
I love this song. It's the classic shipper video song. I used it in an AGT video I made about Nick Cannon and Dorothy Williams. Aside from that, it's a great song too. So I did like the song, but yeah.
Yeah, I like Sarah Bareilles, but I'm not familiar with this song.
Yeah. You should give it a listen, maybe if you like Sarah Bareilles.
Oh, I think I will. Yeah, I'll go out and definitely find it now.
Awesome. I guess we'll see that in the AGT playlist as well.
It's out there.
Colin Cloud came on the stage next. This big background, sort of dark and mystical. I thought it looked a lot like the Clairvoyance semifinals performance.
Yeah, and I've mentioned several times that he reminds me a lot of the Clairvoyance. So the stage setup, yeah, it seemed very familiar. All of his packages have kind of been similar to the way the Clairvoyance packages were. I think that's maybe why I like him so much, because I loved them from last season.
Yeah. This act, I have weird feelings about it. You go first. Tell me what you thought about it.
Okay, well, I really love Colin Cloud. I think he's greatness. This performance, I like him a lot. I really, really like him. But this performance did seem to kind of drag on. And it seemed to go longer than most of the other performances. Now, he did like 3 different things during this performance, because he had one lady come up on stage. He did something with Mel B and Simon, which I think were similarly related. And then he did something completely random, I think to kind of fill time, while this other lady was doing something with a white knife, and Simon stealing all of her, New Kids CDs, something like that.
Yeah.
But no, I think he's one of the best acts. I know a lot of people don't get it. But this performance did seem to go on for a while.
Yeah, I didn't find it as confusing as the judges did, but it was pretty long for sure. But I don't know how to feel about this act, because like the things he's doing are quite amazing from a magic perspective, but I feel like it's almost too much to blow me away. Like I feel like, I guess it's the kind of thing where I feel like the methods that he actually uses are not satisfying, because like there's no way that he's actually using the power of deduction to learn that, someone was thinking about a dog biting her or something like that. I don't know. Do you feel that way?
No, and I'm kind of with you on that. Like his audition, he was using that. He was able to read people. He explained all of that. But it seems like the last 2, he's doing more stuff of what like the clairvoyants do, where it seems like he's reading their minds and not reading their bodies.
Yeah. So maybe I just need to have it spoiled for me. I don't know, because at the moment it's just not working. I hope this is as cool as it seems, but for some reason it doesn't have the same effect on me that the clairvoyance did.
No, and I can get that because he told us at the beginning that he reads people. He reads body language and that's how he figures out what people are doing or what people are thinking. But he seems like he's reading minds instead.
Yeah.
So
So after that, we saw Mike Young, and we finally got to see some footage of him singing in the subway. That was kind of cool.
Yes, and my wife and I have been kind of talking about Mike Young a little bit, about the subway singer. And we went to New York last year, and we saw some subway performers. And maybe people in New York are kind of used to that. People coming on the subway, performing, singing. We saw some dancers. But being out-of-towners, we're like, well, this is really weird, and we don't want people interrupting our, subway ride and asking for money. So what he does is kind of weird. It sounds like he's making a pretty good living. He lives with, 6 or 7 people?
Yeah, I mean, he did kind of say if you come home with anything, it's a success. So I don't know if the bar's that high.
Yeah, but I mean, I've not really been a big fan of Mike Young. This is our second Ed Sheeran song of the night, and I think this is one of his more famous songs, Thinking Out Loud. And just kind of the way he sings, just I'm not a fan of. He's very animated. He moves his hands around a lot, and he does a lot of type stuff, and it bothers me a little bit. I think there's other singers out there that are much better than him. Heidi said this was his best performance, and Howie said he's the best singer of the night, which I completely disagree with. I think he's definitely one of the bottom 3 performers, maybe bottom 4 performers of the night.
That's interesting. I would say this might be my favorite act of the night. I mean, there was more terrible Ed Sheeran, but I thought he sung it much better than the original, and I liked it. I don't know. I think his singing is very pleasant.
Okay, I think that's completely fair. Maybe I just don't get it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the original song just set the bar really low for me. But anyway, after Mike Young was Oscar and Gasper, and I really thought this intro was so stupid. They're building up all this mystique that I don't think anybody really cares about.
Yeah, it felt like it was a secret agent mission to me. Like I was getting ready for them to say, and this message will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
Yeah. What did you think of this act in auditions?
I think I enjoyed it in audition, and I think I only enjoyed it in audition. Okay. I'm not sure what more they can bring. They did bring their own models this time. They had 2 of them. I couldn't tell if those were real tattoos that they had on, or if they were kind of penciled in order to line up with the lights that are projecting on them. But it was kind of cool that they brought the tattoos to life, quote life, and that they had some animals running around. But I just don't feel that this is a talent. It's a skill that they can actually prepare. The only thing that can go wrong on this is if it doesn't project, if they have a technical difficulty like we had last week. And that's it. I mean, I just don't feel that there's anything else to this act. It's really cool what they do. And I think the whole Oscar and Gaspar are these secret guys, but now they have a 4th guy that actually came out on the stage, and then the models themselves actually don't get any credit. It's a really weird act that I don't know if belongs here in AGT.
Yeah, I agree. Very strange presentation. I also feel like there's not any live component to this, and that does bother me too. There's a little bit of motion this time where there was not in auditions, but this was just such a slog. Barely anything happened. I thought it was very dumb. I mean, put them up against Light Balance, AGT. I dare you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I noted that this was slow. This was a very slow performance.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Sarah and Hero were up next. We got the classic adding of a dog to the act name in the package. Uh,
Loki.
yeah. And I suppose it was only a matter of time before the song I Need a Hero came out. But
Yes.
what did you think of the act?
I thought this was a little bit better. They did it looked like a Tomb Raider theme. Is that kind of what you got?
Yeah.
Okay. Which I thought was weird considering we have Loki. We should have gone with some sort of Norse theme or space
Sure.
theme or something like that. I enjoyed this a little bit better than I did her previous ones. It was kind of cool having the second dog come out. These dogs are a little bit more well behaved than Pompeo dogs. And I've mentioned in the past, I enjoy that Pompeo dogs have their really good tricks. The tricks they do are probably a little bit better, but I feel I have a better relationship with Sarah and Hero and now Loki, and I think also Marvel is the third one. So she must be a big Thor fan. So,
Yeah. I liked the jump rope part of this and
yes.
not much else. But
Yeah, where Loki, where is it? Hero held one end of the jump rope while Loki jumped.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm impressed that you can tell those dogs apart. Because I guess I just don't pay that much attention to these. But
Well,
better than Pompeo, I'd say.
yeah, she did say that Loki is still a puppy, so Loki was the smaller, younger one.
Oh, okay.
So
Shows how much I've been watching these, I guess. Anyway, Chase Goring was up next. Going back to his roots, I guess, because he's talking about a girl who's betrayed him or whatever, and I think he sucks again. What do you think?
well, I thought it was interesting that he sang a song called Illusion, being in love with someone that is not in love with you. And his first song was about someone that he was in love with that was with the wrong person.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what's going on here. Does he actually have relationship problems, or is he? I've seen people, and I thought of this as well, but I've seen people say that he's the male version of Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed the song up until he started rapping.
Yeah.
The rapping just really bothers me.
I don't like it either.
They one of the judges said previously that his songs would be good on the radio, and if he's doing the rapping, I just don't think that they'll be good on the radio. People can't sing along with him.
Yeah, probably, but there's some pretty bad guest rap verses in a lot of songs these days.
Right? Yeah, I guess so.
Oh my god, the judges were so awkward with this one too. They keep topping themselves.
Yeah. I don't know what to say about the judges. They're just I don't know. They're hyperbolic all over the place and giving superlatives all over the place, and I don't know what more I can say about the judges.
Yeah.
Howie is saying vote. Mel B is all over the place. Heidi is go get him on everybody, and then Simon, there's no telling what Simon's going to say. So there's not much more I can say about the judges.
Yeah, I think I might compile up some of their weirdest moments because it's an interesting mix going on up there this season.
Yeah, it'd be great to have a montage of just them, of just all their responses.
Yeah.
to see what it's like.
Yeah. So next up was Diavolo, and I think they reused the Stephen Brundage lot for this intro with all the crates and stuff. But I could watch that intro 100 times. It was so delightfully weird.
Where he's going into the shipping crates.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he says, he did the thing where he's, unscrewing his head and, taking out his brain.
Yeah. Yeah, that guy is hilarious.
Yeah, absolutely. So this was my favorite performance of theirs, but I still kind of doubt that I would vote for it.
Yeah, I've talked before. I love Diavolo. I think they're, I mentioned that they're the best dance act. They're now one of the best acts. I think they're going to be a top 5 performance. They had a giant clock this time that they, I think, revealed a sheet, and it was basically just, I don't know if it was a cog or I don't know how to kind of explain it, but it was just this big metal sphere circular thing where they would just climb through it and it would spin and they would hang on to it while it spun. And I think this was I think this was their best performance so far.
Yeah, it was pretty neat. I think they could be contenders for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Now Simon said that they're not a dance act.
Yeah, that's I think they're a dance act.
I think they're a dance act. I don't know what they would be other than variety, but I consider them a dance act.
Yeah. So next up was Kechi, and I gotta say I'm just not into her singing. What do you think?
Well, let me first off mention, did you see where her package took place?
Where was it?
She's from Houston.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so it looked like her package, at least the beginning of her package, was recorded before the hurricane hit. So, she's got a lot going on with her family back in Houston right now.
Yeah, for sure.
But I was okay on this. I wasn't wowed. She sang "By the Grace of God" by Katy Perry, another song I'm not that familiar with. But one thing that really stuck out to me was the sleeveless dress that she was wearing, because previously she's been wearing pretty much clothes that have covered her whole body, all her sleeves. She's wore a hat. She's tried to cover up as much of her scars and her burns that she could. And this time she wore a sleeveless dress. I think they wanted to kind of, show that and say, look, this is a person that's been through a lot. And I mean, she looked fantastic in it.
Yeah, that's cool that you noticed that. That's nice symbolism.
She did start crying when she finished, just because of, the performance that she just did and everything that she's got going on.
Mm-hmm. So I wasn't super into it, but yeah, that was a good way to close out the night, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would have put her at the end. It's I can understand why they did, but I don't know if it'd been a way that I would have closed out the night.
Yeah. So going into the results show, we got the montage we always get. We had a dog reaction shot this time. So, interesting choice there. And our first Duncan save lineup was Angelina Green, Colin Cloud, and Danelle Damon in Greater Works. And honestly, I probably wouldn't save any of them. But I was predicting Angelina would win the judge's choice.
I was too. I no one predicts she's going to win the judge's choice. I thought she was actually going to win America's vote on that. This grouping was quite surprising by me. I thought all three of them were well inside the top 7. I didn't think that they would be 6, 7, and 8.
Yeah, it was an interesting lineup to see for sure, but I don't know. I didn't have many standouts this episode, so I guess I wasn't too shocked. But after that, we got Diavolo and Oscar and Gasper, and I was both wanting and predicting Diavolo for this.
Yeah, me too. I would have been shocked if it had been Oscar and Gasper.
Yeah. We got a great Mel B moment again. She said something like, in Armenia, we'd say this.
Yeah.
They asked, are you Armenian? She said, no, but my hair and makeup team are.
Right. I thought that was really weird.
I love it. I love all the weirdness.
And she's wearing like this bun with, I don't even know how to describe it. She had her hair up in a bun, and it was kind of wrapped in something. So someone posted a picture that it kind of looked like Marge Simpson.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. So after that was Final Draft and Kechi. I was wanting Final Draft from this, but I was predicting Kechi.
Yeah, I did not want Final Draft from this, so I was predicting and hoping Kechi. At least from this group.
Okay. And it was her in the end, and then we got to see John Dornbos again. I thought this trick was not great, but what did you think of it?
I love seeing John Dornbos. It's kind of great to see him back. One fact I want to kind of point out here, he was using Philadelphia Eagles playing cards. I Quick note, he was traded to the Saints on Monday, so he's no longer with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, that's interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you do a pre-taped trick, I guess.
Yeah. The trick was fine. Is this the one with the football? The card inside the football? Yeah. So, I thought it was fine. I just like watching him anyway.
Yeah. So after that, we saw Cycle 9 winner, as Tyra put it, Matt Franco.
Yeah, Tyra had a lot of weird moments these two nights. Just a lot of just missteps and saying things wrong. So.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was like internal lingo or something, but I don't know. You just gotta embrace it.
Yeah, so this one and the other guest of the night kind of ruined season 9 and 10 for me.
Mm-hmm.
So when we do our rewatch, I'll at least know who wins in one season and who is the runner-up in the other season.
Yeah, I'm surprised it took you this long to hear about it, honestly. But yeah, Matt's trick was pretty cool, I guess. I've definitely seen him do better, so I don't know.
Yeah, from my first impressions of him, I thought this trick was pretty cool. I just hadn't seen other stuff that he's done, so I'm not sure what his style of magic is or kind of how he does his magic. But I thought this was fun to watch.
Yeah, pretty good trick, especially if he created it himself, which I think he's kind of known to do. So.
Okay, that's good. And it was nice to see that Mel B did not get any beer or wine.
Yeah. So after that, Chase Goring and Mike Young were up against each other. I was wanting Mike from this, and I was predicting they would pull a both, which they did. And Mike's reaction when they said that, I thought was awesome. He was just very happy that both him and his pal Chase were going through.
Yeah, he looked like he just stood there for a moment, not knowing what just happened.
Yeah.
I figured it would just be Chase in this one. I didn't think they would do a both. For some reason, I was actually hoping they would do a neither.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like from last week, where I was hoping those were going to be a neither as well. Yeah. But if I had to choose one of these two, I probably would have picked Chase. I'm not a big fan of either one, but I probably would have picked Chase over Mike.
Sure.
Yeah.
So Oscar Hernandez Jr. and Emily and Sarah and Hero were up next. I was wanting Jr. and Emily for this, but I was predicting Sarah and Hero.
Yeah, this was another one that I was surprised. And I think even with Chase and Mike, I was surprised that one of these three got more votes than all three of those that are in the Duncan save. So that's why I was surprised that maybe like Sarah and Hero and Mike and maybe Junior and Emily weren't in the Duncan save. Because I feel that all three of the Duncan save performances were much better than Mike, Sarah and Hero, Junior and Emily, and Oscar Hernandez.
Yeah, sure.
So...
yeah, weird lineup. After that, John Dorenbos came back on the scene. There's a lot of money involved. That was kind of cool, but I don't know. The trick was pretty meh, I guess.
And was that Marlon Wayans he was with? Is that right? Because it was a new show?
Yes.
Okay.
And then we saw Piff the Magic Dragon. I was a fan of his when he was on the show in season 10, but this time it seemed like he messed up the trick, and I didn't really think he was all that funny.
Yeah, this is my first impression of Piff as well. I didn't really think it was that good. Maybe I don't get his humor. I don't understand his type of magic. I may just need some history and some context here because I didn't really enjoy watching him.
Well, Piff is very interesting. If you do want, do you want me to tell you sort of some history?
No, we'll get to it. We'll get to it at some point.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Danelle Damon and Greater Works were chosen by the judges. I feel like you were pretty happy about this, probably.
I was very happy. It seemed like they listened to our podcast from last week because it went Mel B, Heidi, Simon, and Howie. And the only one that did not pick Greater Works was Heidi. And I think she had a valid reason. She went with her golden buzzer, which I think is very bold of her. I think that's what she should do. I'm glad that Howie listened to our podcast and decided to... well, I'm not going to go there. But I'm glad he decided to not tie the score and go to America's vote. So we did actually get the judges pick it at 3-1, which I was very, very happy about.
Yeah, it was so funny how he just decided to yell the name into the whole theater. I'm loving the judges right now.
Yeah, this is their one shining moment of the season.
Yeah, so next week, semifinals shall begin, and we know 10 of the 11 acts that are going to be performing. And those are Billy and Emily, Darcy Lynn, Eric Jones, Evie Claire, Johnny Manuel, Mandy Harvey, Merrick Hanna, Preacher Lawson, Saren Hero, and Yoli Mayor. And I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed by this lineup. I feel like it's not as strong as it should be in semifinals. But what do you think?
No, I think you're right. I think a lot of our singers are going to be in the second week. We have, let's see, this week was singers 1, 2, not Eric, 3, 4, and if you want to call Darcy. So about half of them are some sort of singing act. I think it's probably a little bit heavier the second week. I haven't actually looked. It's a good mishmash. I think it's not very strong, but I think it's fine. You're right. At this point in the show, we want star power at this point.
Yeah, I'm not that excited about week 2 either, but that's just kind of where we're at this season. So
yeah, and some of these are going to go through to the finals. So it's, is it going to be the good ones that we like that get there? It's going to be hard to know.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I'll be watching my favorites for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So unless you got anything, you want to look at the draft board?
Yeah, let's look at the draft board real quick because that's who I'm going to be pulling for is the ones on my draft list. So this week I lost Angelina Green, and that was it. So I only lost two acts in quarterfinals, and you lost 4 acts. Mm-hmm. So I'm up 8-6 right now. But you never know; things can turn around. We still got a couple more rounds, and if you happen to pick the winner, then that's all that matters.
Yeah. Who did I lose this time?
You didn't lose anyone this time because you did not have anyone in this show.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Well, cool.
Yeah. This show I had Colin Cloud, Diavolo, and Angelina Green, and Chase Goring.
Okay.
So.
Cool. The HET wiki on the episode 16 page has a great GIF of Mike Young's reaction. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
But other than that, that's all we got for this week. So, if you want to send us tweets or emails or whatever, you can at AGT Time on Twitter and agtcast@gmail.com. If you want to check out our YouTube channel, that's youtube.com/agttime. There's a lot of extra little videos there, such as the Nick and Dorothy one I was talking about earlier. Some more well received than others, but check out what we've got there. So,
yeah, I want to thank everyone that subscribed to our YouTube channel because we can now get our own custom URL on our YouTube channel that when we hit 100 subscribers. So we're now youtube.com/agttime, which is really exciting.
Yep, living large. And we always appreciate iTunes reviews. So, thanks for sticking with us, and we'll see you next week.
Have a good holiday.